Hi, this is Vi from Scrappy Mania, and today I'm going to use my new machine that I got for my birthday. It's the Cricut Joy, and I do have the maker, and that's, you know, I debated for a while, should I get this machine or not? Because the maker, of course, do everything plus more what this machine does. What really attracted me to this machine is the ability to make cards. So one thing, sometimes I have all this stuff to make cards, but when I need a card in a pinch, sometimes I, logging out my machine, put in design space and making the card, it's a little, it takes time, and I want a quick card. Well, I've noticed that I got this machine just because it has a card, this card mat, and it has sticky on top, so you put your card inserts. So I get these cards from, Recollections at Michael's. You get a pack of 60 with the envelopes for like $5, $10. It's probably going to be more now, but in the past, I still have tons from past purchases. And I got lots of these kind of cards, and they're actually the perfect size for this card mat. The kit that I purchased did come with some card mats, some card inserts, and also the cards like this. And these measure 4 1/4 by 5. That's the card itself. So this card is 4 1/4 by 5, which is the same size as the cards that I buy from Recollection. They're 4 1/4 by 5, so it's the same size. And the inserts, which I can use any of my scrap papers, my cardstock. The inserts are 4 by 5 1/4, so a 1/4 inch smaller than your card, which is how I usually cut my inserts. So I do a lot of card kits for church and when I have people come over. So that's why I buy the Recollection cards, because this is what I have them do. And this is the next project. I actually started cutting out all my stamps. I created all the layers. I have tons of these cards. I created even this inserts with my printer, and it's all cut out. It's going to be a project I'm going to do for some ladies at church. We're going to make Christmas cards. So I have tons of this. So that's why I decided, let me try this, because it is kind of hard to bring my maker to somebody's house or to the church, and and to put this card exactly on the mat, the regular maker mat, 12 by 12, and then having it cut out exactly where I want it to cut out can be a little challenging, because it's not like the scan and cut where you can scan the mat in and then you can position your cut pieces right on the material that you see on your scan and cut, and it makes it a lot easier. Well, with the Cricut, it isn't that easy. And the reason I don't take my scan and cut to do projects is because the interface for the design is not as robust as the Cricut. Design Space is an awesome software to make nice designs and to get everything done. The scan and cut interface is not the greatest. It's perfect for cutting out my stamps, but it's not the greatest for when I want to do a design. So I decided, let me invest in the Cricut. Oh, actually, I asked my husband that I like it, and he got it for me for my birthday, so I invested on the Joy. And so far, I love it. This card, I used one of the Joy's images. I used one of my Recollection cardstock, so I did not use the card base that came with it. And then I just put one of my layers underneath it, and it was done pretty quick. And then there was another birthday card that I did in a couple of minutes as well, and where I actually wrote in here. So I was able to go on Design Space. I put a square, and then I wrote on it. And I'm going to show you how to do that with this card. So this is what you get. So I got the bundle from Cricut for $149. It came with the Joy. It came with 4 packs of these. It came with 5 packs of card mats, and it also came with the cutting mat. It came with the blade, and it came with actually 7 pens. So I have you know, let me show you. I also got a carrying case from Amazon. So I have everything here ready to go. If I go on somebody's house, I got everything that I need. So it came with all this pen. It came with this pen. It came with mats, you know, 1 mat and 5 of the card insert mats. So it's the card making kit one that I bought. And I bought that case. I bought extra blades on Amazon, and it actually works perfect, and it was really good price. Like for $23 I got 5 blades, and you know, 1 Cricut blade is actually you know, $10 or so. And actually the blade that I'm using here, because I wanted to make sure that what I bought on Amazon was actually going to work with my Cricut Joy, and it works perfect. This is the blade that I bought at Amazon. It's not the blade that came with the Cricut Joy. I actually put that in here because I wanted to fully test this blade. So that's what I have. So let's go ahead and get started with the card making. So I'm going to switch over to my computer because we'll need to design the card, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I'm over here in Cricut Design Space, and unfortunately I don't have the software screen capture on this computer. It's a new computer because my old Mac laptop, the Cricut Design Space, was not working with it. It needed an upgrade. It was too old. So I had to get a new computer in order to be able to use Cricut Design Space on my laptop. And I do like the laptop a little more than the iPad because there are some features, especially if you do sublimation. With the iPad, you don't get all the printer features that is available when you do use a computer. So that's why it's better to use a computer for sublimation. So I'm right at the canvas in Design Space, and I'm using my laptop. So I'm going to click on New. I'm going to make a new project, so click on New. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on Images. And I'm going to ask for free. I'm not part of the annual membership, so I'm just going to do free. And then type. I'm going to go into type, and I'm going to ask it to bring me all free files, cut files that have to do with cards. Now this is the one I want to use. However, this is a A6 card, so I don't want to be working and playing around with measurements. I want to look for an A2 card. So I'm going to go down, and I'm going to find another one that is going to be smaller. If you look at this one is a smaller card, so that's the one I want to use. So I'm going to click on that, and then down here I'm going to go ahead and hit Add to Canvas. I'm going to confirm the size. So remember, my card is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. This needs to be a little smaller so it will fit into my card, and as you can see right here, it's 4 by 5 1/4, which is going to work well for what I need. I don't need to do any changes, so I'm going to go ahead and click Make It. And then here I'm going to tell it I have the card on card mat. Click on that and hit Done. And it's going to center it right where I need it. So it's going to be right where I need it. So my card is going to be a little smaller than this. If you notice here, the material size is 4 1/2 by 6 1/4. That is not the size of my card. It's actually 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I cannot change the material size on this cut file. Now when you design your own, this will have a drop down, just like material load type. It will have a drop down, and then you can change the card size. Unfortunately, because I'm using a free file from Cricut, I cannot change it. So I'm going to go ahead and click here, Continue. It's going to look for my Joy, and then I'm going to tell it it's a card stock that I'm using. Now it has, notice that it has favorites. So if you want to put a list of favorite material or material base on step 1, you click on browse and then you look for what you want. So let's say I want to use glitter cardstock. I'll click on that, but then I'll go over here to the star and click on that. And now once I cancel this, you'll have that as one of your materials. And that helps you so that way you can easily, quickly select your material and go ahead and start creating. So right here, I'm going to load my mat. It's going to ask for the fine, load the pen. So I'm going to move over to the Cricut, which I have right here on the side. So hold on. So here's my Cricut. So I have the pen ready. I'm going to take out the blade, put it aside, and then I'm going to insert my pen and close it. So now that I've done that, I'm going to take my card, which is already on the card mat. As you can see, this has a sticky part, so I took out the protected film and I inserted my card and then just put it on. And so it's easy. You just, let me show you how I did that, hopefully with one hand. You basically just take the card, push it all the way in, top and side, and then lay it back down and then smooth it out. That's how easy this card mat is to use. Then I'm going to go ahead and slide it in here. Okay. It's going to measure it, make sure that it has enough material in order to do this card. And let's go over here to the interface. So I'm back here. So now that I'm ready, it says to load the pen. I'm going to go ahead and click on Go. Okay, and let's go over here. And now it's going to start writing. And see, I love this machine. I don't know, it's just nice. Look how small it is. It fits right on side of my table. I think this machine is going to be great for when I do letters. So let's say I want to cut out a title for a page, a scrapbooking page. I don't have to do it on my Cricut Maker. I can do it on this machine. It cuts most of the material that I use on a daily basis. It cuts it. It won't cut really thick leather, or you know what the Maker could cut. Maker could cut even wood. But most of the time, us crafters, we just use cardstock, maybe 110-pound cardstock, the most. At least that's what I use, 65-pound cardstock, just heavy-duty cardstock, and paper. I haven't trialed it with thin paper. I was having an issue with my old Cricut in that when I had the really thin paper, like copy paper type of scrapbooking paper, it ripped it because it had that blade. But then I bought the Maker because with the rotary blade, it cuts it like a charm because it doesn't drag the paper off the mat. It just pushes it in and cuts it. Where that's why that was another reason why I bought the Maker, because of some of my thin papers were being ripped with the regular Cricut. And I had the Cricut Expression, which was very old. So that was one factor for that. But this machine, I think, is just perfect for us card makers, scrapbook, that we're not going to be doing a lot of mixed media or heavy-duty books and things like that, balsa wood. And we're not going to be using our Maker to make clothes or appliques or things like that. So I think I'm going to get a lot of use out of it. I really like it. I think it's a good machine for those who are thinking about getting a cutting machine. You may want to start with this if you just want it for cardstock and maybe some scrapbook. Okay, so let's go over here. Now it's telling me, go ahead and change. The next step is to change out the pen and use the blade. So I'm going to go over here, take out my pen, and always remember to recap it so that way it doesn't dry out. So I recapped it, and then I'm just going to drop my blade. And this is the blade that I got on Amazon. It was the really economic blade that you got 5 blades for $23. So I'll put the link to all the stuff, to the blade. I bought extra card mats, or cutting mats, not card mats. I bought extra cutting mats, which were very economical, and I even bought this case that you see here. So I'll put the link for that. So let's go ahead and click on go, and let's go back over here, and look how it's going to cut it out. So like I was saying, if you're on the fence about purchasing a die cutting machine, something for Christmas, if you want to look and see, you know, want to get something for Christmas and look for something that maybe you want to give a special friend a gift, look at the Cricut Joy. Now you can also go and offer up. I got this, a brand new one in the Cricut website because the bundle was hard to resist. But if I've seen these Cricut Joy go for 60 bucks, 80 bucks. And that was actually, I saw a guy that was selling an offer up, a brand new Cricut Joy for, I actually offered him 60 bucks and he was going to take that. And, but then I saw this whole set, which 5 card inserts with some card blanks, with some other pens and other things. And for my birthday, Cricut gave me 10% off, free shipping. So I went ahead and decided to get through Cricut. But you know, don't discount offer up or those secondhand places that you may be able to find this little handy machine. But I like it. I'm liking it more and more. So it's almost done with cutting out the slits. And it does it pretty quickly. And I just want to let you know, this machine is not, it's heavy. It is not a really light machine. It is heavy. I have arthritis, so I have to use 2 hands to take it out of the case. I cannot use 1 hand because it's a little heavier for me. So it's not it's not a cheap little machine. I think it has a lot of strong material, strong metal in there. Okay, so I'm going to unload. So there's no button. That's the thing. There's no button on the machine. So everything is done through an iPad or a computer. So that may be a limitation. You have to have an iPad and you have to have a computer somewhere, or even your iPhone. Now, if you use your phone or it's Samsung, you know, my sister has an Android and it does work. Design Space does work in Android. But you don't have all the features that you do when you have the software installed on your computer. So just keep that in mind. So now I'm going to unload it and let's go back. So let me go put you back on my stand, and we are going to unload my my card and finish up with this card. So I'm back over here and there is my card. It is done. So I'm going to go ahead and put all my pen back, and then you don't want to rip this, so you're going to carefully, it's very sticky. And also I want to note that you have to be careful to make sure the ink is dry. This is the card I did earlier, and see it smudged. So this cardstock has a coating on it, so it kind of smudged it, and see it keeps smudging. So hopefully this is the cardstock I use and it doesn't smudge. It's not been smudging. So you have to test your pen on your card before you use it. And I'm using Cricut pens. Now Amazon also has some pens that looks like are designed for the Cricut Joy that are very good price as well. So I might get those and see how well it works. But so far, every product that I bought that is a knockoff to use in your Cricut Joy on Amazon has worked, which was the blade and the mats. So you're going to carefully lift it up. Don't rip it. So what I'm doing is carefully lifting my card up. The mat is very sticky, which is wonderful. But that means you just got to be careful. So once you unloosen it, then you pull it out. Now I do have this little scraper, so I'm just going to use it to scrape it out. If you don't have this scraper, guys, you can always use, let me show you what I've used in the past. You get this at the dollar store. You can use this to scrape it as well. Okay, you can use that. Or you can use a credit card. This is a credit card, and you can use a credit card. Okay. So either one works well. I do have this, came with something that I bought, so I do have this. And I've seen it at the some dollar stores are having some of those kind of tools. So you may want to look there. Okay. Before you do anything, so this doesn't get any dust because it's sticky, you go ahead and place your cover back on. And then I'm going to put it back in my bag so that way I do not mess it up. So you're going to have to use some kind of pokey tool. So here's my pokey tool, and I'm going to poke out these little edges here. So poke those out. I'm going to take this out. Okay. And then I am going to use, I have this Spellbinder roller, so let me just use that to take this out. Take it off. Let's look and make sure. Let me open it up. Okay, so that's how it works. Then you just take your card blank, your layer 4 by 5 1/4, and open this up, and then I'm going to just insert it here. Okay. I'm going to push it against, and then here I'm going to just bend it a little bit. Bend it a little bit, and then guide it in. So be very gentle because you don't want to rip these slots. These slots are delicate. Now you can put some adhesive in the back if you want. But look how pretty that looks. Okay. And then you're ready to put a birthday sentiment. So let me get my sentiment. Like I said, I like to make kits for church, so I always have things like, see, happy birthday. So I got a lot of stamps. I stamp a bunch of them, and then I use my copy machine. I copy it on laser paper, and then I cut them. And I cut them to size so they fit in here. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this. Okay. So I'm going to use my stick glue, and I found it that it's best to put the glue here so that way when it opens you can see the sentiment. If you put the glue on the bottom, what's going to happen if you put the glue on the bottom, so when you open it, because this has no glue, it's going to open close and then you have to open it. But if you put glue on top, make sure you put your glue on the top. You don't need to put glue on the bottom, and you don't need to put a lot of glue, just enough. Okay, like that. Go ahead and put it, center it on your fold, and then close the card. And when you open it, see, it opens like so. Now, and that's pretty much it. Now we can go ahead and you can put rhinestones or whatever you want on it just to make it pretty. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to color those polka dots in with some of this Nuvo drops. You always want to test these things out before you put them in on there. Yeah, like, okay. Gonna give it some dimension. I'm telling you, it's getting harder and harder with this arthritis to really squeeze things. It does cause a little pain, but it does work. Okay, so I'm done with that. Then you tap it underneath. Now notice there that is not it went over the line, so then you can just take something and push it up like that. And then tap it. Tap it underneath so that way you don't get peaks. You want those peaks to settle. And there. So a little dimension. This is for a guide card, so I don't want to give it too much dimension or too much glitter or anything like that. Another thing that I may want to do is may want to go ahead and put some color pencils and use that. And actually the Cricut gave me these, so let's, oh, that's not a pen, so let me go ahead and get like a marker and let me put some lines there. I'll be back. Okay, I found a marker, so I'm just gonna go ahead and color in the lines. Just make it a little darker, and then I'll probably color this line. And there. That is my card. Very easy, quick, done within a couple of minutes. You can just save that design on your Cricut under my project area, and that way every time you need a quick card you can just click on it, insert your card insert with your card base, and you're done. So I hope you like this video, and thank you for watching. Bye now.